Welcome to
Introverts Own Your Voice. I'm Tom Marcoux.
And I'm Johanna McLeod.
This episode is about power time management. More time, less stress, and zero procrastination. Johanna, I have a question. When have you been held back? Like, when have you procrastinated?
When haven't I?
Okay. But do you notice something about your procrastinating?
I notice that a lot of times I'm just too tired to do stuff.
I'm right there with you. And this conversation is getting past, let's have a to-do list. For many people, because of not having enough energy or being tired, the to-do list is a to-don't list. The to-do list is a guilt list. We want to win. So every letter, W-I-N, stands for a method. We'll jump right in with wake up 3 levels: good, excellent, and amazing.
That sounds amazing.
No, thanks. Well, the idea is that in order to get the best things done, we're not aiming for perfection, but we're aiming for massive progress, power time management. In order to get great things done, you need to have levels of goals, meaning every week you should know this is the amount of work that I know that I can get done. That's good. And you need to give yourself credit for that because that helps your energy. We'll talk more about personal energy as we go along. The second thing is excellent is stretch. If you just started your own business and you need to make more marketing phone calls, you might start off with good is 5 calls, excellent is 10 calls, and then the third level is amazing, 25 calls. What's important about setting amazing goals is that they fire you up. What if I did have 25 calls? What if I did realize that for every 20 calls, I usually get 5 clients? What can happen when you're able to make more calls or replace calls with more interaction through a webinar, whatever you're doing? So amazing is very important to get you excited, and that's related to moving beyond just a place of feeling tired and frustrated and perhaps scared.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
The next letter is I. Increase a graceful no. Many of us say yes too fast, and that's how we get overwhelmed with too much to do.
Well, how do you say no then?
You do it with strategy. You do it with a whole process. In one of our other episodes, there's a podcast that we did that identifies how to say no and protect relationships. That goes into much more detail, but for our conversation here, I want to emphasize first, don't say no right away.
No.
What I mean is, don't say it in the same conversation. Nope, can't do that. It's like a brush off. It's showing no respect.
Oh, wow.
So instead, what you do is say, let me double check this. I need to talk to somebody at the office. We have to double check the schedule. How about if I call you tomorrow at 4 p.m.? The important thing that happens there is you're demonstrating respect because you are checking out your schedule.
What if the person just doesn't want to wait?
And this is part of the whole process. You'll have to be firm and say, I need to check the schedule. I do have a full plate. I'm not certain, particularly with the deadlines I have for my current clients, if I can fit that into the schedule. So I need the time to double check my schedule. So you might have to be firm about it. And then if they keep pushing it.
What if they are just very fervent and they just won't let you go?
Then I have to say, based on not having enough information, I have to say right now, for this moment, the answer has to be no.
Okay.
Because they pushed you into the corner. It depends on the relationship you have. Now, it's different if you are interacting with your supervisor, with a boss.
Yes.
Then sometimes you have to be very careful and say, I'm glad to do it. Which of these other things do you want me to drop off the list? I want to do full force good work, but I can't do it on 4 things at the moment. I know that our emphasis is on getting clients. So is there any of these things that you want me to replace with that new thing you're talking about? See, so you're still guiding your supervisor to give you leadership, give you direction as to what to drop. But you're saying, I'm at capacity.
So basically you're putting it back on them.
For their leadership, they are the leader. They are the manager. They are the supervisor. So they should be leading. They need to have the information, though, and they may not have it because they're not thinking about it, that you have reached capacity. But that's the important thing about part-time management. You have to be very aware of your capacity.
What happens with the whole ageism and you just can't be that 20-year-old person?
That's a very powerful question, and I can respond briefly here in this conversation, but that's a bigger conversation. That might even lead to another podcast. With this particular conversation is I get what's implied by your question. If you're older, you have to be careful to not have the appearance of being feeble. You still can say that the thing I know from experience is that things take time. So you're not saying that I'm older now, I have less energy. You don't say that out loud to
Your boss.
your younger boss.
Yes.
You don't say that. But what you do is you are aware of it in yourself, but you're saying things take time, which is a truism. It is true that things take time to do them correctly. Now, you can always say to the supervisor, is there any steps here that you want me to drop? Is there any elements of this project that you want me to drop from the project? Let's move on to N. N stands for nurture your energy to replace procrastination. See, a lot of procrastination comes from not having the energy. A lot of procrastination comes from not knowing how to do the thing. A lot of procrastination comes from distaste or discomfort or disinterest. I don't like that. I don't like doing that. So what you have to do is get clear on where are you going to pull the energy. Much of time management is not, obviously it's false. You don't manage time. What you do is do self-leadership. And you nurture your energy. So it's energy management. In order to have more energy to overcome procrastination, I have learned with my clients and helping them that identifying 3 types of goals is helpful. We already talked about other types of goals like good, excellent, and amazing, but these are 3 other types of goals. For those of us who are motivated and energized by a vision, I call that golden pull goals. You are pulled forward. That doesn't work for everybody. Many of us, especially when it comes to taxes paperwork, we're pushed into it by fear of tax penalties. I call that dark boot goals. It's like this big boot kicks you right in the rear.
Oh, I've got lots of prints.
Okay, and if that's what motivates you and energizes you to get stuff done, then you just acknowledge it. Now we have to be careful, because if you only lived in the dark boot goals place, it's not sustainable. Because you just are running around afraid, and just the old metaphor of putting the finger into...
Little Dutch boy.
That's right. And trying to stop the water leaks. And the thing that I'm looking at is that only being motivated by dark boot goals is not sustainable. The 3rd level of goals is very important, and it's called green tranquility goals. These are the things we do every day to have some joyful moments. So every day they watch one episode of a funny show because they get laughter every day. Green tranquility goals also could involve walking in nature, taking a walk after dinner, meditating for 15 minutes, all these different things. And especially for us as introverts, it's very valuable to have green tranquility goals. I see now that it's time for a Marcoux moment. This is when I share an excerpt from one of my books, 47 books on Amazon at the moment. The book is Power Time Management. More time, less stress, and zero procrastination. On page 128, the section is Make It Easy to Say Yes to You.
I like it already.
Well, it's a terrific idea because we move forward faster, and it becomes power time management when we're able to get the help that helps us move forward faster. So on this page, we talk about the easy process. Each letter stands for a method, and I'm going to share 2 of those methods right here as an excerpt. The first one is E of easy, is encourage one simple action. When you invite the person to do something simple for you, their brain actually shifts in perception. It's almost like their brain says, oh, I did something for Sam here. I guess I care. So that's the excerpt. The idea is that when you make it easy for someone to say yes to you and you have them do one simple action, you change their perception of you change their perception of your relationship, and that makes it possible to get more cooperation.
Now, you were talking about a similar situation where a person would ask, would you pass the salt? The person does it, and therefore they feel like they have a better connection with you. Is that correct?
Well, that's the simplest example, that if you're getting to know someone and you say, oh, could you pass the salt, please? It is a process. A number of salespeople have been trained in this methodology of helping people change their perception of you. It works in many cases, but like any technique, it might not work. But in summary of that excerpt that I just shared, we're talking about always make it easy for someone to say yes to you. And the first place to start is to make your request a very simple action.
Like passing the salt.
Or like, could you look at the first 2 paragraphs of my report? Not look at the whole report, but look at the first 2 paragraphs. Maybe they'll say, hey, it's pretty good. You want me to read any more of this? You see, they're already closer to you now. Well, that's the end of our excerpt section from the book, Power Time Management. Johanna, I'm curious. What are you going to keep from our conversation now about power time management?
Well, I definitely like your win process. The 3 levels of good, excellent, and amazing.
I'm with you, Johanna, about the good, excellent, and amazing. When we do power time management, what we're doing is we're making sure that we get great things done. And to do that, we make sure we keep up our morale. And good, excellent, and amazing do that. On the good level, we know we're going to get that done this week. On the excellent level, we're going to stretch, maybe add a few more phone calls. And then on the amazing level, we think about what can we do that's just beyond phone calls. Having a podcast, that'll reach more people. That kind of thinking on the amazing level is helpful. Let me summarize this whole power time management approach. When people have come to me, clients and audience members have come to me over the years about time management, often it's about procrastination, it's about being tired, it's about being overcommitted, it's about not being able to say no. And so what we have here is an overview of the process. Win. Wake up 3 levels, good, excellent, amazing. I is increase, a graceful no. So once again, I do recommend that our listeners listen to that previous podcast that's how to say no and protect relationships. And then finally, nurture your energy to replace procrastination. Procrastination can become a habit. And the way we get beyond this habit of procrastination is we take care of our energy. And one way to do that is we get the energy from wherever we can. We get it from the vision, golden pole goals. We get it from trying to avoid pain, dark boot goals. And we get it from keeping ourselves healthy, whole, and strong with green tranquility goals. That could be meditation, taking a walk after dinner every day, exercise, calling up a good friend that energizes you just by talking with them.
Those are my favorite, the green tranquility goals.
Excellent. Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Tom.
For articles and videos, go to getthebigyes.com. Also, visit yourbodysoulandprosperity.com. We're glad that you heard this broadcast, and we invite you to
Click to subscribe.
and then you'll be supporting me and Johanna and our message.
And so now remember,
Introverts can show their best self with strategy.
I'm Johanna McLeod.
I'm Tom Marcoux.
Thank you.
Be well.
Bye.